explore these functions in action. I will create a new file, import the random module, and print a random integer from 1 to 10. I will create a list with some values and print a random choice from the list. A next function from the random module is the ability to shuffle a list. So I can shuffle my ABC list, and when I print this list, it will be in a random order. Having the functionality of the random module in order, let's say if we can flip a coin 10 times and keep track of the number of rolls. Now my list contains just heads and tails, and if I want to get a random choice from my coin list, I will print the random choice from the coin. I have tails, I have heads and tails. Now I want to roll my coin, toss my coin 10 times. So I will create a for loop, and it will loop 10 times and print 10 random choices. If I want to keep track of how many heads and how many tails, I can add all of my choices in a list. So I can declare a rolls list, and instead of printing my random choice, to append it in my rolls list. At the end of this for loop, if I print my rolls list, it's going to have all the 10 tosses of the coin. Another nice advantage of having everything in the list is that I can produce quick stats by counting how many times the heads appear in the list or the tails appear in the list. So now I see that in the previous row I had 6 heads and 4 tails, and if I roll again I have 7 heads and 3 tails, so on and so forth. Notice the underscore in my definite for loop. We use the underscore if we don't want to access the iteration variable. I could use a variable like n for number, but since I'm not using it, I prefer to use the underscore so that I remember it. But we started from our travel agent. Our purpose was to create a program that will randomly recommend a country to travel to and propose a city to visit. We will use a dictionary with countries as keys and a list of cities as values. I have added some data in my World Dictionary, and for the key UK, I have this list of cities. For the key Greece, I have the other keys of cities. Now I will create a list of Italian cities and see how I can add them to my World Dictionary. So I have my Italian cities, and I will also use the append method to add another city in the Italian cities. And now I will try to go to my world in the key Italy and add as values the Italian cities, the list of the Italian cities. I will print my World Dictionary to observe the contents. And here is my World Dictionary updated with Italy. Now that I have my World Dictionary in order, how can I add one more city in the Greece key? I have to go to the world and access the Greece key and append in the list a new city, Andros for example. And I will print my World Dictionary again to see that Andros has been appended in the list of the cities in Greece. Now let's remove this and let's see how I can print all the keys in my World Dictionary. And here I have a list of my keys. And what if I print my world.values? I have a list of lists of all cities. Now this gets me back to the random.choice. If you remember, the random.choice accepts as a parameter a list, but my world.keys gives me back a dictionary keys object. If I convert as a list my world.keys, I will get back a list of the countries. And now this is ready to be used in the random.choice. So I can use my random.choice to give me a random choice from the list of countries. Every time I run it, you see this a nice error message. It says that random is not defined because in order for me to be able to use random, I should import it first. So it gave me a random country from the list of my keys. I want to keep this in a variable. So this is my random country. But if I want to get a random city from a specific country, instead of an index or a key, I should use an integer that shows the position, the index of the city in the list. So for example, if I print, just to see how this works, from Greece, the first city, I should use it with a number, the city, the index, the position in the list, or the second city. So in order to get a random city, this number should be a random number. And in order to be able to use the random number, the range of choices is from 0 until the length of the list of cities. So what is the length of the list of cities in Greece? It is the length of the world Greece. It is 4. In order to get a random number, I will ask for a random choice anywhere in between this range. So this random number shows me the position of a city. If I assign this to a random city variable, instead of accessing here Greece 1, I can access Greece in the variable random city. And of course I have to put it after my random city has been generated. The final step in this exercise is to replace here Greece with a random country that was selected from my random function and replace it here also. And finally, to make the program print the random country and the random city that was selected. And this concludes this lab demonstration on dictionaries and lists.